Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, welcomes you to our biggest clearance sale of the year, the Happy Honda Days sales event. Get year-end clearance pricing on over 900 new Hondas, plus a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Honda. Save thousands on your new Honda right here at Team Honda.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Cantea, your Italian dining will change forever.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Welcome to the Monday edition of the Clarence Bud Show. Here's hoping your weekend was an absolutely fabulous one. If not, well, you know the drill by now. Each and every Monday, right about this time of the day, we are inclined to say, if your weekend wasn't all that great, good Lord willing, you will still be here when the next one comes our way, and you will have the opportunity to try it all over again. Believe it or not, the sun came up yesterday, came up again today. As best I can tell, Earth continues to turn on its axis, and unless something really, really crazy happens in the next 20 hours or so, it'll do the same thing all over again tomorrow. The election results of 2020 still in limbo. Despite what the mainstream media would have you to believe, this thing is still going on. And it's so ironic. The older you are blessed to get in this country, how you can look back at certain things and they become more relevant than ever. You have probably, I'm sure, seen by now the number of people that are encouraging Donald J. Trump to relinquish, acquiesce, whatever term you want to apply, and accept the election results. For whatever reason, I saw one particular individual asking for this, and Looney Tunes' legendary character Bugs Bunny came to mind. He don't know me very well, do he? If ever there was a person in this country that relishes a fight, it's Donald J. Trump. And at the end of the day, we should want that. Think of it in these terms. If it were you, say at the job, and something happened that you had a very strong suspicion was underhanded. It cost you a promotion, cost you your job, impugned your character. If you're a real American, you would fight to the bitter end to restore your integrity and to right the wrong that had been handed your way. Believe it or not, there are still people in this country that relish those principles. There are still people in this country that abide by those principles, particularly when you take into account, in so many instances, the numbers aren't adding up. For many people, particularly those of us that have been doing this for a long time, it's hard to fathom that Joe Biden, virtually campaigning from his basement, garnered 7 million more votes than Barack Obama in his heyday. We all remember the packed stadiums, the enthusiasm, the coalitions that all acquiesced behind Barack Obama. And it's hard to imagine that Joe Biden, seldom leaving his basement, was able to garner 7 million more votes than Barack Obama. Now, you know me, I'm always interested in looking at different angles to things. You could very well make the argument that Clarence, the media, ginned folks up to the point where it's conceivable that they turned out in record numbers to vote against Donald Trump. I'll grant you that. But there's a caveat. We have become so partisan in this country, it is inconceivable that people would do two things. One, walk into a voting booth and only vote for president and leave all the other offices vacant. Two, it's inconceivable that we as Americans, as partisan as we've become, would hand Joe Biden 7 million votes more than Barack Obama in his heyday. But the House of Representatives lost 6 Democrat seats, and Republicans in the Senate are on the verge of maintaining control. Do you see the disparity there? 7 million more votes for the Democrat than Barack Obama on this hand. But they didn't punish Republicans in Congress on the other hand. How is that possible? As partisan as we are in this country, even the most ardent liberal, I think, would have a hard time reconciling the fact that Democrats went into a booth and very quickly posted a vote for Joe Biden, but then said, well, the guy in Congress, he's a Republican, but he's doing a pretty good job. So I'm going to vote for the Republican here in Congress. For Senate, I'm going to vote for the Republican here in Congress, in the House, but I'm going to vote Democrat for president. That's not what we do as Americans these days. Add to all of this the fact that when folks say the numbers don't add up, for example, in Pennsylvania, the rolls show, allegedly, 840 people voting that were over 101 years old. According to the records released, 39 of them that voted in the recent election apparently lived through the Civil War. 45 of them that voted, allegedly, were born in the 1800s. And yet, you expect the guy who has made a living as a fighter to concede. I don't know about the rest of America, but I want someone who is going to stand up for the truth. Add to the fact that the numbers and the circumstances are very suspect. Add to this the company that manufactures the voting machines, Dominion. Their record is way less than sterling. And my gut tells me, and I've learned to trust that gut over the years, when you have massive software updates 2 days and 1 day before the election, you might want to go back and check things out just to be sure. At the end of the day, y'all, this is not about Donald J. Trump or Joe Biden. At the end of the day, this is about the integrity of the system. Because lest we forget, in case you don't know, there will be other elections. Down the road, we will once again, as Americans, go to the polls and attempt to make our wishes known. There are going to be other elections. And the danger of not ensuring the integrity of the process, while it may benefit you now, rest assured, down the road, it will turn around and bite you squarely in the buttocks. That is the nature of the beast. And the reason we are the envy of so many societies on this planet is our ability to engage in free, open, and honest elections. And the fact of the matter is, there are far, far, far too many irregularities that need to be investigated, that need to be thoroughly vetted, so that if nothing else, when all is said and done, we can at least walk away from the process feeling that the integrity of the process remains intact. It's bothersome as I look at world leaders reacting to the results, allegedly, of our latest election. And it's frightening that there are world leaders that apparently know more about our system of electing people than Americans do. When legal challenges have been filed, and what's even scarier than that, we've been through this before. Remember 2000 and the hanging chads? Very short memory for Americans. Scary. I want to talk more about this, but I got to get this first break out of the way. We'll talk more next on the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Get 0.9% financing for 60 months on every new 21 Mazda, plus 90 days deferred payments during the season of inspiration at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
By all standards, he is a champion for consumers. Because of Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta, our utility rates are 35% less than the national average, the lowest in all of America. He saved ratepayers over $8 billion. Commissioner Scrametta brought us more reliable power plants and energy-efficient solar fields. Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta. Keep the commissioner who keeps our rates low.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to the Monday edition of the Clarence Bud Show. You know, it's ironic, telling, strange. I would like to think the overwhelming majority of the American public anticipated the fact that this election would not have official results on election night. And of course, following election night and the resulting legal challenges that ensued, those of us that lived through 2000, those of us who are familiar with our representative republic form of government, and even those that simply paid attention in civics class, knew that this thing would probably drag on and on and on and on. Again, there's precedent. We lived through this in 2000. But what is amazing, and I guess in hindsight, it's a bit of naivety on my part. After going through 2000 and the hanging chads and the 37-day wait before we got the official results, it is hypocrisy of the highest order for Democrats to demand that we certify this, and the president acquiesced after 5 days. 37 days on this hand, 5 days on the other hand. I have always been of the opinion what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Now again, take the individuals, the personalities, and the parties out of the picture. The only thing that truly should matter is at the end of the day, can most Americans walk away feeling that it was fair? Was every allegation brought to the table? Was every allegation thoroughly investigated? And was the appropriate action taken? That should be the only thing that matters, because again, we will have more elections, God willing, and we are in danger of having a very ugly precedent set here. And when all is said and done, it's not just an election that's at stake here. It is the integrity of the entire system. Speaking of hypocrisy, all of a sudden now, mainstream media, particularly, Democrats as well, are now calling for a time of healing. Now let me get this straight. You have spent untold days, hours, tweets, Facebook messages, YouTube videos, calling Donald J. Trump and all of his supporters, your fellow Americans, by the way, everything from Nazis to cult members to racists to, how much time we got left in this segment, Martin? We don't have enough time left in this segment for me to list all of the ugly, despicable, low-down, and dirty names that liberals have called conservatives over the last years and months. But now it's time for healing. You know, my late father, God bless him, taught all of his children, when you have wronged someone and you want to ask their forgiveness, the first and most important step in the process of healing is acknowledging to that person that you wronged them. The first step to making things normal again is recognizing that you in fact did something that was unwarranted, that resulted in this person being injured, be it physical, mental, whatever. It's amazing. Obviously, a whole lot of people didn't get that sort of teaching from their parents. Well, either they didn't get it or they got it and are now very conveniently choosing to ignore it. You can't call people ugly, despicable, horrible names without any proof that they are any of the names that you've called them, and then magically flip a switch and expect healing. I am sorely afraid that we have allowed the media, the politicians, to gin us up to a point where most Americans and yes, you are still my fellow Americans, most Americans who engage in this sort of behavior are no longer interested in healing. If they were truly interested in healing, they would very readily acknowledge the wrongs that have been done if, in fact, they are truly interested in the healing process. Now, it is a sad commentary, and it pains me to say, but the truth is what the truth is. For many of my fellow Americans, we are way past that point. If you go back and look at the things that were said, the things that were done prior to November 3rd, you kind of laugh, if not scoff, at those who now say they want healing. It's what happens when we allow people who have a vested interest in keeping us separate, people who have no interest whatsoever in the well-being of the individual, only the elites and those in power, to put us in a position to allow them to think for us. It's funny. If you were to ask most Americans on the other side of the fence to name 5 reasons why they despise Donald Trump, if you know anything about the mainstream media, you already know what the answer is. You already know. And it is strictly adherence to the talking points. At the end of the day, y'all, if there is anything that I can hope will come out of this for the American public, aside from ensuring the integrity of the voting process, it's that we as Americans will get back to thinking for ourselves. You know, it wasn't all that long ago that we as Americans took pride in making our own decisions. Of course, now you can make the argument, well, Clarence, when you were coming up, we didn't have the 24-hour news cycle. When you were coming up, they didn't have social media. And you would be correct in that assessment. I grant you that. But even today, with the 24-hour news cycle, even today, with the advent of social media, there are still those of us that possess the ability to think for ourselves. I had a boss not long ago that made no bones about the fact that the first thing he would do every morning when he awakened was check his Twitter feed. And I'm saying to myself, really? You're not going to a respected, cherished, professional news source? You're going to Twitter? Maybe, just maybe, that's why leading up to the election, and still to this day, we see Twitter engage in certain unscrupulous practices. Maybe that's why we see other social media platforms abiding by certain unscrupulous practices. It's scary to watch this happen, but you know what's even scarier? We as Americans, apparently, don't possess the ability to look at it for what it is. At the end of the day, the Founding Fathers were so very wise when they crafted a form of government that put the power in the hands of the people. It would be interesting if we could truly find out how many of us still, one, believe in that principle, and how many of us, two, still let that principle be the number one guiding force in our lives as Americans? I think the numbers would scare the bejesus out of you. Just saying. Bottom of the hour break. We'll get her done right where you've got it on the Clarence Buggs Show. Stay close.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask. Wash your hands and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up.
Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
At Team Toyota, Toyotathon is underway. It's your chance to save during our biggest sale of the year. Get our lowest prices and our lowest payments on every new Toyota. Plus, get a complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty with every new Toyota. Right now at Team Toyota.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Back to the Monday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show. The entire entertainment world, and particularly the game show genre, is mourning after news broke over the weekend that Alex Trebek passed away at the age of 80 years old. He was truly an icon. And for those of us that, I don't want to say are nerds, those of us that just like factual, accurate information and the amassing of knowledge, we were sorry to hear the news. We all knew the battle that Alex Trebek had been facing, and we were all hoping that he would be able to weather that storm. That unfortunately is not going to be the case. And he was such an iconic figure. I don't know if anyone will ever be able to replace Alex Trebek. I would hate to be the person that has to try and, quote, fill his shoes. That's one of those impossible jobs. There will never be another the likes of an Alex Trebek. And it's funny. I understand that, you know, longevity in any particular business typically gets shorter and shorter and shorter, because we as individuals, we as humans, we tend to relate to certain things and relate to certain instances in certain ways. And to be able to find someone, particularly in that niche, to last that long is really asking a whole lot. He is gone, but certainly will never be forgotten. And again, for those of us that love the amassing of knowledge, he was one of those people that knew how not to inject his personality into the pursuit of knowledge, but he also had a personality that was conducive to making you want to amass more knowledge. It is never going to be the same watching Jeopardy again. And I don't know if whatever company it is that owns the show itself, I don't know if they anticipated this, started grooming someone, started a search or not, or if they're even continuing the show. Maybe they'll revamp it in some other form and come out with a new Jeopardy. I don't know. I would like to think that I'm unbiased enough to give a new host a shot, a fair shot, but it's going to be awfully tough after 35 years to watch Jeopardy in the same way and be able to honestly and truthfully give the new person, be it guy, girl, whomever, an equal shot. I'm just being honest with you. Just being honest with you. One of the things that many Louisianians and many Americans, for that matter, have been particularly concerned about the outcome once it is certified and official of this election is the oil and gas industry in America. Last week, if memory serves correct, may have been as much as 10 days ago, Shell, global oil and gas company, announcing they have been unable to find a buyer for the refinery in Norco. And as a result, they're going to close it. 700 jobs in Louisiana are expected to go away. Don't know how many of you saw, I think the news broke yesterday, possibly at the end of last week, that Exxon has announced, Exxon Global, not Exxon Baton Rouge. Exxon Global announced the laying off of right at 2,000 people in administrative positions, primarily in the Houston administrative offices. 1,900 jobs expected to be impacted there. A lot of folks are of the opinion that this is just the beginning. And with the, quote, Green New Deal being pushed by the left and the radical elements of the Democrat Party, if in fact Joe Biden becomes president, then you can expect a lot more of these things to happen in the future. Only time will tell in that regard, but if you take liberals at their word, then oil and gas is going to be seriously curtailed in the near future if, in fact, Democrats get control of the White House. Now, the interesting buffer, for lack of a better phrase there, would have to be if, in fact, Republicans were able to maintain control of the Senate. Here in Louisiana, we're talking 70,000 jobs in the oil and gas industry. And while we have been blessed to diversify our economy in recent years, and we're also blessed to have tourism as a major contributor to our economy, 70,000 jobs is a whole lot of jobs any way you look at it. And for a state like ours that has perennially been depressed, that's not a good sign. Some folks are saying if you work in the oil and gas industry in Louisiana, you might want to start looking at a career change. Only time will tell, but if you pay attention to the signals that have been sent, particularly in the latter days of this presidential election, you gotta think it's just a matter of time. True leadership is able to look at the needs of a constituency, look down the road, and balance decisions accordingly. Again, we have managed in recent memory to wean ourselves off our total dependency on the oil and gas industry here in the great state of Louisiana. It would behoove us, it would certainly be in our best interest to start looking even more in that direction if in fact there is a Biden-Harris administration. Again, 70,000 jobs for a state our size would absolutely devastate our economy. And there are those that argue, well, yeah, we're going to lose that many in oil and gas traditionally, but we're going to get them back in green jobs. Well, good luck with that. We tried that 8 years ago, well, 12 years ago, with solar, with wind, and at the end of the day, I think we all know, Solyndra, how that worked out for us. So I'm not putting a whole lot of confidence in the fact that Louisiana, with the decimation of the oil and gas industry, would be able to easily overcome that. I wish I were not such a skeptic, but based on past experience, the old BPE factor, I'm not ready to have that much faith just yet. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love nothing more than to be proven wrong, because the fact of the matter is I have many friends that work in the oil and gas industry. I have a whole lot of relatives that work in the oil and gas industry. I know a whole lot of folks that benefit from the oil and gas industry, either from direct jobs or jobs on the periphery. But when you consider 70,000 jobs in the oil and gas industry, add to that the folks that benefit on the periphery, grocery stores, restaurants, clothing stores, entertainment venues, and the list goes on and on and on. The repercussions of that would be staggering for a state like ours. Hopefully, we will heed the call, legislature. Hopefully, we will elect individuals down the road that will understand the potential of what we are talking about and put policies in place to try as much as you can to insulate us from that. Unfortunately, we have diversified, but we still have a huge reliance on oil and gas in Louisiana. And the sooner we can wean ourselves totally from that, the better off we're going to be. Unfortunately, for the first time in recent memory, we finally got to the point where we were energy independent. How all of this is going to play out, only time will tell, but it surely would be a shame if in a rush to transition, we went from energy independence right back to energy dependence. Again, only time will tell, but hopefully we will put ourselves in a position to insulate or at least mitigate whatever harm additionally may be done to the economy here in Louisiana. Final break of today's show. We're going to bang this puppy out, get it out of the way. Come back, put the big old pretty bow on it, and wrap up the Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back for the final segment of our Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Why don't we hit the road a piece? Let's go to the phones. Melvin is calling in from Lafayette. Melvin, good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine, thank you, sir.
Awesome. What's on your mind, Mel?
Okay. In reference to this election and any other election in the nation, I find that, I believe it was Abraham Lincoln said, a nation divided amongst itself cannot stand.
Cannot stand, correct.
In my view, I think we should have no party. No Republican, no Democrat, no independent, no communist, no social, no nothing. All Americans, just Americans. Secondly, I think there should be no electoral vote. I think every person's vote should be decided by a popular vote in every election. Why should one nation or one country or one particular area in the nation control the whole outcome of any election, which affects everybody in the United States? I believe there should be one man, one woman, one vote by an authorized legal American citizen, and it should be the popular vote and registered as such.
Melvin, thank you, my friend. Melvin, here's the counter argument that you're going to get to that philosophy. First and foremost, we are not a democracy in this country. We are a representative republic. We are a coalition of states, hence the United States of America. When you look at it through that particular lens, you understand then that when the Founding Fathers crafted this form of government, they took into account the individual states. And they understood that you don't want one state or two states that, because of geographical location, great weather, super tax breaks, or whatever, you don't want those particular states to have more power than others. There are certain, what's the phrase, democratic principles that we abide by in this country. But let us not forget, this is not a democracy. It is a representative republic. That's why we base certain things on population, House of Representatives. But there are other factors that are determined on an equal basis. The Senate. Each state gets a pair. You follow me? We're not a democracy, Mel. We are a representative republic. And the Founding Fathers was so very wise in understanding that when you apportion certain states to have certain sizes, then democracy runs roughshod over the smaller states. I mean, imagine, if you will, Melvin, a state the size of California, a state the size of Texas, how easily they could run roughshod over a state the size of Maine, a state the size of Connecticut, a state the size of Rhode Island. If it were not for the fact that we are a representative republic, when you look at the Senate, there would be no need to even consider those states. That's the beauty, Melvin, of the form of government that the Founding Fathers had the foresight to craft. Again, I understand the media, particularly the mainstream media, loves to throw out there democracy, democracy, democracy. But we're not a democracy. We're a representative republic. And the Electoral College is one of the fail-safes that's been installed so that the rights of the few have to be respected by the rights of the many. At the end of the day, it's one of the things that makes us the great country that we are. At the end of the day, it's one of the things that ensures that we as American citizens will not be run roughshod over by a tyrannical government. I can feel your passion. I understand the pain. But at the end of the day, Melvin, my friend, always remember, this is not a democracy. It is a representative republic. And no matter how many times the media throws that out there, no matter how many times the party tries to make you believe, well, we're a democracy. No, we're not. No, we're not. And the sooner we embrace that and understand it is that way for a reason, the better off we're going to be. You know, it is my sincere hope that regardless of what the eventual outcome happens to be from this presidential election and any of the other still contested races, it will be that we manage to come out of this with the sanctity of the voting process intact. When you entertain the number and the seriousness of the allegations of irregularities in this most recent election, I don't care what side of the fence you reside on, it should scare the bejesus out of you. To think that in the land of the free and the home of the brave, in the year 2020, we are still either unwilling or, despite all our leaps and bounds in technology, unable to put together a system where we can all feel good at the end of the process that it was fair. That tells us a lot about where we are as a country. If you have any doubt whatsoever about whether or not the election was fair, that speaks volumes about who we are as a nation. Putting aside your passion, energy, like or dislike for any individual in any particular race, or all of the races for that matter. When all is said and done, we as Americans cannot expect any more, nor should we reasonably ask for any more than the process be fair. While you may be happy that, well, yeah, I know there was some irregularities, but my guy won, you have now opened the door as wide as it can go for it to happen to you the next time. And again, lest we forget, won't be long, there's going to be another election. Won't be long before the media is going to tell us all kinds of stuff. Won't be long before social media is going to have you believe in this, that, and the other. But you're still going to have to go and vote. And you still, as an American, have the right to demand and the right to expect that the election be fair. This day, more than any other, I'm inclined to say, you know what, you're right. America, still not perfect, but doggone it, for my money, it's still the best there is. And God knows there is no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Really doesn't matter though, because there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.